that seems to be promising. So we've got the 114 SP2 on Siegfried line, as I understand. I promised I was going to show this replay on stream. I haven't actually seen it yet, so I've got no idea what I'm supposed to be looking at. But broadly speaking, you've got 114 SP2, the Chinese Tier 10 reward tank destroyer. That was the season reward for ranked of the 2021-2022 season. Now, it did have a little bit of a nerf. It did have a little bit of a nerf early in its tenure, mostly on the concealment values. It's a little bit of a weird tank. Like, it hits like an absolute brick and has quite an accurate gun if you let it dial in. Your standard rounds will hit for 650 hit points and penetrate for 329 millimeters. So that's pretty convincing. That's the premium shells. Your standard shells penetrate for 273. Still well above average for a tier 10 gun. It is 152 millimeter main armament as well, which 650 hit points, when you think about it, is probably at the lower end. The frustrating thing I found about playing this vehicle is it's not particularly agile. Now I'm not quite sure how Eli has equipped this, but I'll just bring that mini map up a little bit. But it is a little bit frustrating in that if you play too far from the back and try to play to the sniper role, well, if the game becomes a bit of a runaway, you really do struggle to move up and capitalize. So this is a good start. We've potentially got penetrating hits on the T110E4, possibly a little bit slow off the mark there, but that could well have been just waiting for the shot to dial in before they committed, which is fair enough. They probably had all the advantages here of distance and soft cover, so an earlier shot, you might have been able to get away with it. Yeah, Eli, no engine replay sounds. There we go. So penetrating hit on T110E4. Nice side of the turret smack. They'll be feeling that one tomorrow, but I'm pretty sure they're feeling that one now. Opportunity for a follow-up shot? Yeah, I would have taken that too. Oh yeah, looks like you friggin' got him too. Well done. And looking for the third. Is this the kill? No, they've ducked behind some hard cover. If they keep poking around back and forth around that hard cover, though, there might be an opportunity. Yeah, there he is, out again, and with the kill shot. Very nicely done there by Eli Minute. He's joined by his teammate there, Shabanite. Very wisely relocated there with artillery having their number. Did cop a bit of stun on the way out. Yeah, as you sort of trying to replay replays when the version is expired, you often miss out on things. Engine sounds, one of the first things to go for whatever reason. All right, so possible penetration opportunity on the 60 TP that we could see there. But you don't have a hell of a lot of armor on this vehicle, so you do have to be a little bit cautious about poking. Your best bet, let your teammates poke and take damage for their country, and then follow up in support. 650 hit point slap to enemy vehicles, certainly something they don't recover from. So we're sort of skirting around the side, not quite sure where some of these enemy vehicles are facing right now. Poking out of these buildings can be a little bit of a dangerous enterprise because you never quite know what is hiding at the back of the field, ready to smite you. Particularly as the game is running away like this. Okay, so we're aiming carefully, looking for the cupola shot. Unfortunately, that is a bounce on the objects 277. Probably shouldn't be too surprised by that. Um, call it a Russian thing, maybe. Yeah, so it's a bit of a frustrating thing, particularly when we're showcasing replays that are a little bit older. And this one ain't that old, even. All right, we've got the arse end of the T110 E3, so a very nice bit of extra damage there. The enemy being able to close the distance up a little bit, scores 4-3. What have we got at the back here? That is the Kranvan. Yeah, just what you needed. I guess that's where, once you start poking out of this city and you don't have the vision control through the field, it can be a bit of a dangerous occupation. There is a lot of soft cover there. And we can see Shabonite in his platoon mate in the 114 SP2 has just been absolutely nuked by between artillery and that cranny. Oddly enough, Eli's team has actually lost one of its SPGs already. The enemy team, despite losing most of the map control, still has 3 SPGs in a fight. So if the enemy team can maintain vision, then they're actually in pretty good stead to win this. In fact, they're neutral on guns, but there's a slight hit point disparity here with the enemy team very much in the lead. So that's indicative of quite a few maybe low hit point vehicles on Eli's team. So it could be a little bit of a problem for him. So Eli's pulled back for now. Possibly trying to get unspotted, come back in from an unexpected angle. Remembering that the last time they were spotted was probably in there. As far as the enemy team's concerned, they're probably still there. Now, from this position, he can cover the backside. Possibly something he could do from the back of the map. It also might be a little bit too far away to do anything about. Interesting choice of position here. It's probably something that suits the hull down vehicles a bit more, that can actually bounce incoming shots off the skid lid. But it has been able to ambush that Kranvan quite nicely, just poking out while unspotted, and really bring that 152mm gun to bear. Alright. Oh, got a high explosive shell loaded, firing a little bit prematurely there on the Grill A15, but I guess they were expecting at least one of these enemy tanks that are in this corner to have been waiting for him, so I get the caution. T110E3 is fired, so he doesn't need to be quite as cautious. Nice meaty hit into the lower frontal plate there, leaving the T110E3 with only 161 hit points left. Off the back foot here, though, 6 to 8. Although roughly equal on hit points, they have been able to close that up a little bit. Eli's team just really needs to get a couple more kills, a bit more focused fire, and they should have this just about done. We can see the friendly AMX 13 at 105 has been working the back, but I think he's just been knocked out, actually. No, he's still there. He's still just hanging on. Doesn't have a hell of a lot of hit points. Oh, no. No, he's gone. He's gone. All right. Ah, the joys of commentating games live. Okay. So that was a really good shot, because you penetrated the hull of the Kranvan, but also sent the shell through the column as well. So I guess that's testament to the penetration available of this vehicle, and a pretty sad indictment on the hull of the Kranvan. So 2-gun advantage, similar hit points, however. Enemy still maintaining the advantage of strategic fire with an extra self-propelled gun in the game. But so long as the heavy hitters on Eli's team can continue to play through the city, they're probably going to maintain a reasonable degree of cover from those self-propelled guns. And if we look at what's attempting to do the spotting in the field, it's the FV4005, and let's face it, FV4005 is not really a particularly effective scout. E100s being able to do their dirty work on the 60 TP and T110E3, but it's the Object 277 that's able to shut down one of those E100s. It's turning out to be quite a tight game, and I'm really glad to share this with us, Eli. We've got now the Object 277 is one-shottable. So we're one gun down, but having the hit point advantage. Maneuvering around this bunker has enabled them to maintain a little bit of hard cover between them and the incoming artillery shells. So that's always handy. E100 on a quarter of its hit points. Wow, the artillery really don't like you today. That's the third shell that was sent in the direction of that bunker. But to be fair, you're probably only the only visible target at that point in time. So the enemy Object 277 is not in a great hit point position either. It's easily one-shottable to the E100, but like E100, it can still eat around from the Object 277, but then what? It's going to leave it in quite a vulnerable hit point position for dealing with whatever's next in the team. Bearing in mind the enemy still has their own E100 as well as a Grill A15. So the call's gone up for the E100 to withdraw. Now hopefully that's going to draw the Object 277 across in such a way that that Eli can maybe knock that 277 out with a side shot. Notice how quickly Eli is making these shell changes as well. It's so important to have good intuition skills on some of these bigger guns. That's all right. You got 3.5 minutes. You'll kill this. I don't know if you'll kill this. So E100 is withdrawing. Artie's a little bit bored, going for a blind fire at the bunker where Eli was previously. So that's probably a good, probably good, as good a place to blind fire as any. I mean, if I was the Batchation, I'd probably want to follow up with some of the other notorious cover positions. E100 has been able to reacquire and knock out the Object 277. This just leaves the enemy E100. So last we saw they were on, what? Let's call it a fifth of their hit points left. So that's hopefully in one-shottable territory for Eli. It assuming it penetrates, will be in one-shottable territory for the friendly E100. FV4005 certainly one-shottable for the E100. And let's face it, if it's spotted, there's potentially a bit of follow-up abuse that can come from artillery as well. But Grill A15 knocks out the FV4005. But they have been able to locate it. Eli possibly in a position to engage it, but I mean, Eli being one-shottable for the E100, and that would be facing predominantly frontal armor. Now, it might have been spotted. No, there we go. We got sight of turret and a clutch shot there on the E100. Really going from the pixels. And look, this shot has come from A0. So enemy SPGs really with the moves to try to generate the crossfire, but they've kind of played their hand at this point in time. So Eli in a position to maybe rush in and deal with it. It is a little bit it is going to be a little bit problematic in that 114 SP2 is not the most agile of vehicles. Okay, swing and a miss by the Object 261, and probably just as well for Eli. Able to knock out the Object 261 in turn. We've got less than a minute left, so we're looking for some real miracles here in order to avoid this becoming a draw. The other Batchat artillery moving in on the cap was probably expecting Eli to be playing from the playing from the bushes up here. That's kind of where the gun was aimed, but Eli had decided to play low and had come away with the goods. 2 enemy vehicles left. This is just turning into an absolute train of destruction here. Eli fan, if they can reload faster than the grill. No, it's a ram kill on the grill, and 3 seconds left, and that is their 7th and final kill of the game. What a fantastic game there. Won by seconds. That was awesome. That was awesome. Let's take a look at the results. I haven't actually uploaded this to What Replays, but so we'll bring that out because I think that final position is really well worth having a look at. I don't know why Google Chrome doesn't like What Replays. Is that because Russians are gonna steal our data? Well, yeah, steal us our replays. Okay. So, that is a well-deserved Ace Mastery badge. An absolute fistful of epic medals here. Dimitri's medal. That's quite a rare one, actually, where you destroy at least 3 enemy SPGs in one battle. You've got Pascucci's if you destroy 2 or more, but Dimitri's if you destroy 3 or more. We've got the Top Gun medal for inflicting at least 6 kills on the enemy team. In this case, the upper limit of that, 7 kills. If they were to pick up another kill, that would be the highly coveted Radley Walters medal. And, of course, the High Caliber medal here for causing at least 20% of the hit point pool of damage inflicted by the team on enemy vehicles. Over 7,100 hit points of damage inflicted on the enemy. Quite a nice fistful here of the badges of merit. He's got Hand of God for surviving and winning the battle, having received damage from at least 4 different enemy vehicles. He's got the Bruiser medal for causing damage to enemy vehicle modules or crew members at least 5 times in the course of the battle. The Demolition Expert for destroying at least an enemy vehicle by causing its ammunition to explode. And we saw that in the spectacular detonation of the Bat Chatillon 155-58 SPG. We've got the Duelist medal for destroying 2 enemy vehicles that cause damage to their vehicle in turn. And of course the Fire for Effect medal for doing at least their hit points in damage, which, 7,100 hit points of damage inflicted on the enemy team. I'd say he's got that covered. Having a look at the team scores, this was a rather convincing placement. Top placement by experience points, coming in 40 to 50% higher than the next teammate. Not to take away from their achievement at all, though. The E100 doing over 3,100 hit points in damage, at least its own hit point pool. Really having an impact on the battle there towards the end in sort of soaking up and dishing out that fire. Special mention on the enemy team to Aya Stark in the Object 277 and E100 and 60 TP. Some really high damage scorers amongst the enemy heavy tanks doing their darndest, just not quite carrying hard enough in this particular game. In fact, if you look at these scores sorted by damage, arguably, I mean, Eli is a bit of a statistical outlier here, with only 2 other vehicles on their team reaching over 3,000 hit points. So, still very well done here by the enemy team. A very hard fought battle that really, by their sheer I don't know, bravado in trying to cap out the game, they'd really just fed themselves into a meat grinder that handed Eli the win. Having a look at the detailed report, a profitable game under the circumstances, remembering that remembering that 114 SP2 is not a premium vehicle, it is a reward vehicle. So it'll give you all the crew experience boost, it'll give you all the combat experience boost, but it won't give you the credit boost that you normally associate with premium vehicles. But still, turning a nearly 35,000 hit point profit, 35,000 credit profit out of this game, very well done indeed. I guess that's thanks to like using that intuition skill to change the shells and change them quite quickly to suit the situation at hand. I mean, once you've got intuition fully trained up, you can switch out a shell faster than it takes to aim. So if you know what it is you're aiming at, well, you can make these decisions on the fly. It's really good muscle memory to try to practice. The shooting was actually quite precise as well. Out of 18 shots fired, 15 hit, 14 landed for to cause some penetrating damage. So a testament to the gun's accuracy. Now, it doesn't quite have the laser-like accuracy of Grill A15. It's and it doesn't have the concealment of Stridsvagn 103C, but it's still very much meeting requirements as a Tier 10 sniper tank destroyer. 114 SP2 Tier 10 reward vehicle. So thanks very much, Eli, for sharing this replay with us. This is probably the first time we've done a replay coverage here on the Twitch channel, and I don't know. I might have to make a bit of a habit of it because I've actually quite enjoyed this. But I do feature replays on the on my channel, which I will do a shameless plug here, where we sort of do a fair bit of replay commentary. There we go. So if you want to give us a like and subscribe over there, I'd greatly appreciate it. We try to be a little bit selective in our replays. Like we tend to just cover Tier 6s and up. We prefer not to cover Tier 8s punching down on Tier 6s. I really like the bottom tiered vehicle replays. Ace Masteries are great. Personal campaign mission completions with honors are great. And we try to avoid these steamroller type victories as well. So you'll always be convinced of a fairly hard fought replay on the channel. So thanks again for Eli to sending that through.